I remember when the red carpet for the Golden Globes actually stood for something.
Yeah.
First of all, the studio is absolutely brilliant. I love this show. Every episode kind of explores a different aspect of the filmmaking process. And I don't want this to get lost in the sauce, but the directing is brilliant because it makes me feel like I was in the midst of the chaos of making a film. Seth, rewatching the Larry Sanders Show during the lockdown, that's where the idea was set in motion for the studio. Can you share any specific moments during those hours when you thought, this is the story I have to tell? And how much of your own Hollywood experience and frustrations made its way into Matt?
Oh, a lot. Thank you, first of all. And it was, it was, the industry is changing. We came up making primarily like mid-budget comedic films, which are something that essentially don't exist anymore. And so we're feeling a lot of frustration, but we knew a lot of people who worked in studios that actually again, kind of love movies, and they themselves weren't happy with the direction things were going, even though they could change it. And so it really was a collection of various things that would happen. And also just, we were at the Golden Globes and our movie won, and one of the executives was crying afterwards because they weren't things. So things like that happened as well, where we would just be like, these types of stories are so funny to us. If we could find a way to sort of translate them to people who have nothing to do with the industry, then it could be a good way for us to just use our life experiences,
Absolutely. Now, Catherine, having witnessed decades of change in Hollywood, how do you feel Patty's journey reflects the evolving nature of power in the industry? And can you talk a little bit about Patty's journey?
Oh my God.
Centuries. You've been around for almost half a century in this business.
I'm sorry. First of all, I don't remember my decades, and I'm so out of touch. When I'm on a set, all I care about is getting through my lines, trying to do a good job, have fun with the other people working. Wait, what's the question about Patty? Sorry, say it again.
Oh, just about her, the power, the nature of power in the industry. The evolved nature of power.
That it's easily taken away.
Yeah,
it disappears from moment to the. Yeah, that. Wow, it's you're not on steady ground. Steady ground, firm ground. What's the word?
Firm ground.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Ungrounded. It's an ungrounded way to live, I think.
Yes.
Ridiculous pressure. And as you see in the first episode, the man I mentored for years manages to take the job that I had the day before. But I think in that world, you got to know, which is not a fun way to live, but you have to know that's a possibility day to day.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, Ike, in a world where every decision feels like it could topple a $200 million film, how does Sal manage to stay cool and sometimes even crack a joke in the midst of panic? And tell us a little bit about Sal.
Well, I think he manages to do that with a little narcotics. I think he might have some substance issues. I think he's kind of seen the winds of change come through his business, come through his industry. But I think he's a survivor, and he's someone who, like Catherine said, you're on shaky ground, and he's just determined to keep his job. he's determined to keep his job at all costs, and he'll do whatever it takes.
Absolutely. Now, Chase, Hollywood assistants are often the unsung heroes of the industry, and Quinn's journey from assistant to creative executive is a powerful transformation. Talk to me about how Quinn navigates the internal tension between the creative process and the corporate pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think, when you're starting out, and Seth and Evan and I would have a lot of these conversations, you have this kind of false sense of confidence, like you can take over the world and the industry, but obviously there's a ceiling to what decisions can get done and what can get made, and there's a lot of ego checks. And I think it can turn a lot of people really bitter. And I mean, lots of people have come up through that process. So I think it's a big learning lesson that Quinn has to reckon with, and constantly getting humbled, constantly getting slapped back down to earth.
That's how I came up. I was
Yeah.
Seth's assistant through shooting of this.
Yeah,
That's true for all
Until
of
about
us.
2 weeks
I
ago.
promoted in episode 4.
Yeah.
Look, the show is absolutely phenomenal. I couldn't hit play fast enough after each one ended. I love this show. Thank you guys so much for your time.
We love
you.
you. We love Canada.
Yes, God bless you,
We
Canada.
love you.
love Canada.
Thank you.
You make a good movie. It's good forever.